Founded in 2014, the Extraordinary Achievers' vision is to empower others to be the best version of themselves. The show is hosted by Chief Lady Waynette Peters, a multi-entrepreneur, empowerment speaker, confidence mentor, positive lifestyle coach, humanitarian ambassador, and a TV host. Lady Waynette is a holder of over 35 international awards for her humanitarian, philanthropic, and international empowerment contributions and holds 2 chieftaincy titles. Welcome to the Extraordinary Achievers Show.
We welcome you back and thank you for joining us. YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Meetup, and to our live TV website viewers, we thank you for joining in. We thank you all for the support that you give, for sharing this program with others. And today is another day when we're surely going to get wowed. And please do remember to interact with us, to ask our guests any questions, to share your view, because each and every one of us, we make it the Extraordinary Achievers. Once again, thank you all for the Extraordinary Achievers support. Thank you for assisting us in the awareness of this program that gives an conscious theme to many. We are grateful. The Extraordinary Achievers Show covers topics ranging from mindfulness, awareness, self-development, and empowerment, true stories and community interests and affairs, interviewing industry experts and individuals either that have overcome adversity or share knowledge to that which creates awareness. We work in collaboration and in harmony with other community enhancement organizations. Let us welcome our guests that we have on the show today. We have Her Royal Highness Queen Nadia Harihiri that joins us today. Welcome, Her Royal Highness.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi.
Greetings from France. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
We are truly blessed to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us. We would also like to welcome Professor Oluwafemi Esan, the Professor of Transpersonal Psychology and the founder of Elroy London University. Professor, welcome.
Thank you so much, Ali Dwight.
Thank you. We would like now to read some of your hellos from home. And we would, as we look at the hellos that we have coming up. Hey, Dol, all the way from Greece. Sophia says, good evening to you. And Empress Joanne says, good evening, beautiful people. Good evening to you. And Francis Albert, hey, it's been a long time. Nice to have you back on the show. And PK, Kelsey says, good evening to you. And we welcome you. Michelle West, oh, thank you for taking time out of your work and joining us on tonight's show. We welcome you. And Melissa says, good evening. So excited for tonight. And good evening to you. And we are as excited. And Bangi says, so good to be back. Good evening and good evening to you. Joanne says, well done to the team of the Extraordinary Achievers. And yes, they're a magnificent team. And I'm truly grateful to have them. Seike Kola Adene, the director, the founder, and the CEO of Sound Mind UK says, hello, everyone, and good to be here. It's good to be here. I just want to tell you something about Sound Mind UK and say, Kola, on Friday, we are having a party. Sound Mind UK is having a fundraising dinner and dance, which is going to take place this Friday, the 13th, from 6 p.m. If you have not heard about it, please do contact me. I will be so glad to share some information with you. And if you've got your ticket, I look forward to seeing you at this charity event. And remember, we are raising money for something good, and would like to say, Sir Collar of Sound Mind, a thank you. And Sir Kay, if you can please post a flyer of this Friday's event in the comment box, I would super appreciate it. Thank you. Simon C. Brown says, good evening, my dear friend, and good evening to you, and well done to the work that you're doing in the community. And Vicky, the amazing Vicky, was always sharing this program anywhere she can get the opportunity to share it on all social medias. We thank you for being part of the marketing administration team. Angela says, good evening, everyone. And Angela, it's so exciting to have you back, and thank you for joining us. And Samuel Dinsley says, good evening all, and good evening. And I got your message that your daughters are going to watch this on replay, and thank you. It's love to hear the dedication some have. And Joanne says, great to have you back, Professor. He is now our resident psychologist, and we're excited. And Sir Kay says, thank you. I'm so excited for tonight. We are super excited for tonight, and we are super excited for Friday. So if we have never met and you would like to meet, the first place to come to and mingle for charity is this Friday at the Sound Mind UK dinner. Today, we are talking about mental resilience empowerment tools. Be empowered to set yourself free. How can you get out of that undesirable relationship, job, abuse, poverty, loneliness? Are you stuck in an uncomfortable situation, settled in a sticky position? When do you decide enough is enough? It's time to let go. It's time to set yourself free. It's time to find you. After all, you were created for a purpose, and you are on your own journey, your own very personal journey. We share the path of our journey with many others. For me, I always say I share my journey with the angels that I find along the way. They're so great. And remembering that we are all spirits having a human experience. Today, we have the experts just on that topic. We would like to welcome our resident psychologist to come on to our screens as we welcome you back, Professor. Professor, we thank you. You have honored us week after week with coming onto the show, and we'd like to thank you for honoring us. Professor Olufemi Esan is a professor of transpersonal psychology at Elroy London University. He is the Vice Chancellor, PhD in transpersonal psychology, and a principal consultant in transpersonal psychology. His focus is on a non-religious concept of spirituality, transpersonal psychology with a psychosynthesis coaching, the development of the transpersonal self through spiritual coaching. Professor Olufemi organizes seminars and workshops on transpersonal awareness with the application of transpersonal psychology in the everyday living. Professor, we welcome you back onto the show today.
Thank you so much for having me once again.
Thank you. Thank you. Professor, we're going to ask you the first question. And we're going to ask this question in this way. What stops us from getting out of the situation in the first place? Why do we get stuck in a situation?
Thank you so much for asking that question. We humans, whenever we are in a situation, the problem lies in the mentality, and so we are stuck in a situation because of our mindset, and the mindset becomes used to that kind of environment, which has led to a kind of a comfortable situation. So the mindset is the most important thing. People are stuck in a situation, and because of the mindset, their mental conditioning. So the situation has conditioned them to accept the external environment, which has now become an internal representation in their mind, and which is very, very dangerous. They have internalized their external condition. And so they have a picture of themselves based on their external condition. So, and that's what makes people to become stuck. It's a mental conditioning that you find yourself in a place and you felt that is the best thing that ever happened to you, and you are not ready to go because it's the mind that controls the way we see the situation. Our perspective is a function of a mindset. So for someone to break away, it has to do to a mental transformation. I say it again, it has to do with a mental transformation, because the greatest weapon for change is the mindset. And once that mindset has settled down and has become comfortable in a situation, it is a very dangerous thing. People don't see anything wrong in that. Others can be seeing it externally, observing their life and say to them, don't you think there's a need for you to change? But until the mindset changes, we are stuck by our thinking. It's our mindset that becomes mentally conditioned in a particular situation. Yeah.
So, Professor, when we talk about our mental resilience, and then we're looking at our mindset, as you've just said, can we talk about the processes of how we start to re-engineer our mindset, the habits that we need to look at in terms of those habits? How do we start looking at things in a different way of a successful mind? Where do we start with that?
Yeah, thanks so much for that question. Yeah, the change is not external. The change is internal. And it starts from perception, the way you see things. And so if you live over the years in a particular environment, in a particular situation, in a relationship, in a job, the only foundational or fundamental rule to change is your perception. Because every one of us, we have a lens through which we see the world, that becomes our worldview. So until that worldview, that lens changes, we don't see any need for a change. And that perception will remain the same until people hit a crisis mode. Crisis is the key that happens to men before they start looking at the world in a different way. It can be in a broken relationship, health crisis, financial crisis. And that's what happens to most humans. Until there is a crisis in their life, they are not ready to change their perception. Maybe somebody, you've been told to lose weight. You don't want to lose weight until you went for the doctors and they saw the blood test, the result. And then all of a sudden, they realize, oh, I need to change. So, and that is crisis. Without crisis, people often live in the comfort zone. They become too comfortable in their comfort zone. And so it's the perception that is the key to change. And how can your perception change? Your perception can only change through exposure. So when you're exposed to new ways of thinking, that leads to a change in your paradigm approach to life. So that exposure has to do with you changing environment, meeting new people, becoming open-minded to other information and ways of doing things, But oftentimes people are too comfortable in their comfort zone. And so the perception is the key. How you see life. Every one of us today, we are where we are based on our perception. The way we see life is what determines our comfort zone. And so for us to change, our perception must change. Perception about life, perception about ourselves, perception about our goals and our vision. How we see life must change, because the beginning of change starts from your perception. Your perception is a key to change. Without a change in your perception, you will remain in the same place. You don't want to do anything different. You just become comfortable where you are. Thank you.
Getting comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. Yeah. Because you're settled and you feel that's all you know and that's all you have, and you're settling for that. And then you begin to think that nothing is better. Yeah. I mentor and I coach quite a number of individuals that are stuck in relationships that they shouldn't be stuck in. And somehow they feel that that's all they're now good for and no one else would want them. or they feel that they're looking at the good side of that relationship, yet the bad side outweighs the goodness of that relationship. Professor, we thank you for answering our first couple of questions. If you have just welcomed us onto the Extraordinary Achievers Show, you have been listening to our resident professor that is here joining us every week for the past 3 weeks on transpersonal psychology. Today, we have an amazing woman that joins us all the way, and she is in France today. Her name is Her Royal Highness Queen Nadia Hariri. She is the founder and the CEO of Success World. Her Royal Highness created Success World Academy, the academy for everyone, offering free high-quality education for all. Queen Nadia has also created Success World One mental health clinic. The clinic for the people also offers a free service for those who want to find answers on overcoming their fears, anxieties, doubts, adversities, and finding a new meaning to their life. The organizations she heads offer the services of psychologists and experts in mental health, who also in turn are supporting this mission and vision. Her Royal Highness Queen Nadia is an ambassador at large for UN Affairs at the International Human Rights Commission and arbitration judge at the Federal Court for International Human Rights. Queen Nadia is a pro-chancellor of Elroy London University and Rockfield College of Science and Technology in Zurich. Queen Nadia works expand far and wide. Her name is known for her humanitarian heart and her love for others. Today, Queen Nadia, we welcome you on the Extraordinary Achievers Show.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lady Wynette. It's a really pleasure for being today with you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Greetings to everybody.
Thank you. And everyone is going to enjoy hearing from you. Queen Nadia, I've often heard you talk about vibration and the laws of vibration, which is amazing. I know you've got a book coming out, and I know it is so empowering. I remember the first time I heard you talk about the laws of vibration, and I was looking at that in terms of the law of the land and the vibration. There's so much the same for me, and so much so that they ground us in our thinking, in our being and our well-being. Can you please explain to our audience what the laws of vibrations are?
Sure. You know, when you know your identity, and with Professor Olwafemi, we always and often repeat that we are spirit and not this body. We are spirit. We are an extension of the spirit, the universal consciousness. So our world is a world of vibration already, of frequency, of evolution. You know, it's the frequency is the sound making its evolution in color and later becoming light. This is what is the frequency, like, you know, waves. So when I speak about the law of vibration, this is because a lot of people are talking about the law of attraction. So some people are saying, if you want to change your life, you have just to repeat and repeat and repeat the same thing, then it will reprogram you, and immediately you will attract what you want. This is not true. This is not true. Yes, the law of attraction exists. But if you are not vibrating at the same frequency than what you have in your mind, your intention, if your intention and your target are not in the same level, you have no chance. You see, it's like you think to something sad, okay, and every thought is bringing an emotion Every thought is bringing an emotion, and every emotion is producing a reaction. You understand? If in your intention, which is your thought, is bringing an emotion, okay, and then this emotion is not in alignment with what you are thinking or what you are feeling, you have no chance to be in the same level. I mean, you cannot think something sad, feel sadness, and start to laugh and be happy. It's impossible. It's not going together. You understand? So when I say the law of vibration, because your thoughts are alive, your thoughts are are um, are an energy. You are energy. That means that you are vibrating already. This, what we call body, is only an impulsion of electromagnetic particles together. In reality, the mind is thinking, and then he is projecting that to your third eye, your consciousness, and your consciousness is projecting that to your eyes, to show you, see what you have in mind, to just show you what you have created. This world is just a world, in fact, it's a world electromagnetic particle. So when I speak about vibration, we are already vibrating. If you, for example, you even look with a microscope, even a dead body, you can see that even the dead body is still vibrating. Vibration means also transformation. We never die. Nothing die. Everything is going to transformation. So when you are vibrating at the same frequency, it means that you are increasing your frequency, you are increasing your faith and your energy. You see, for example, you cannot expect a lot of things to come to you and you stay all the time at home and not moving, it's not going together. You understand? When we say, for example, if you have a vision, when we say, okay, I have a vision, I feel this vision, okay, but to vibrate with my intention and my target, okay, I have to become this vision. It's not only to find the way, you have to become the way. You understand?
Yes, Queen Nadia, when you say that, we quite understand in terms of you're coming from, which by a lot of people tend to think that if they just pray and sit back and pray, therefore things are going to miraculously happen. And I'm always saying that as much as I believe in miracles, and most of us believe in miracles, but you have to get out there and you have to actually action it. Thank you so much, Queen Nadia, for answering the first bit of the question. I have another question for you, and we would like to thank you if you've just joined us on the Extraordinary Achievers Show. We have been listening to Queen Nadia. Her Royal Highness has been giving us the introduction into vibration. Today's topic is mental resilience empowerment tools to be empowered to set yourself free. We will be hearing from Queen Nadia as she talks about that vibration inside us and the spirits, how we can empower ourselves to do more. Professor, who's also joining us on the show, will be talking to us about how we look at it at the transpersonal side of it, the transpersonal psychology side of it. We have a couple of comments that we are going to read that have come up on the screen as we speak. DG says, very interesting. With so many people in the world, why doesn't individuals clash? It sounds like the internet highway. Thank you for your comment. And thank you for joining us from YouTube. And Norma says, vibration is the key to creation. And it is indeed. Vicky says, indeed, we're all spirits having a human experience. And that is so true. We're all spirits having a human experience. The most important thing to remember is that we are having an experience, and in that experience, we have to learn to be humble and to have a teachable spirit. To remember that we learn in each and every day, and we learn from our mistakes, and we learn from trying, and we learn from others. Today, we are learning from Professor Esan, and we are learning from Her Royal Highness Queen Nadia through their experience and also through their work. We are going to welcome Professor Oluwafemi Esan, the Professor of Transpersonal Psychology and the founder of Elroy London University. Professor, how do you get out of an undesired relationship, job, poverty, loneliness? What is the first step that you need to make to get out of an undesired situation?
Thank you so much for the question. Yes, anger is the key. Until you are angry with yourself and you are sick and tired of that situation, nothing will change. Until and the foundation to that has to do with our self concept. Your self image, your self vision. So you have a vision. Every one of us, we have an image of ourselves. And that image is the most important part of what dictates how we react to poverty, to joblessness, in any situation we find ourselves, is a product of our self-image. And that self-image resides within the subconscious mind, which becomes a default system that dictates our responses to anything we do. So the first thing is getting angry, until the day you just like, I'm sick and tired of compiling and to be comfortable. So you become uncomfortable, so, and that is a product of your self-image. If you don't see yourself beyond that situation you find yourself, nothing will change. You remain in that comfort zone. But the moment you have an internal rearrangement of your self-image, which happens through different ways. Maybe you have a word with somebody, you came across something, or somebody said something to you, until that internal picture changes, nothing externally changes. Because everything in the physical is a projection of the internal picture. And so it is the invisible picture that creates the reality of the material world. And so for my material world to change, its root is not external, it is internal. Just like what Queen Nadia just said about that vibration. So it starts from you aligning with a vision within yourself. And that vision now changes. It changes the way you see yourself. It changes the way you react to your environment. Out of that vision, you begin to create this vibration to align your mind and your emotion. And why I said anger, because every thought has a corresponding emotion. So the emotion of anger, not anger with people, anger with yourself. I said, wait a minute, enough is enough. I'm not going to put up with this decision. But that journey starts with a mental picture on your inside.
So, Professor, when we say that it starts off with that mental picture in our head, so we have that mental picture. So let's say Peter is in a relationship with Jane, and as Peter is in a relationship with Jane, he cannot stand that relationship anymore. It's not working for him. He's miserable. He's not able to function to the best and optimum of himself. So he is in a very uncomfortable situation, but he has children. Peter has children. But the tension at home is terrible. The children are suffering because there's no love inside the home. He's miserable. Jane's miserable. What should Peter do? Of course, he's going to become angry with himself and say, Peter, you deserve better. And Peter, you cannot stay here for the children. just because of the children, because this is not good for you and it's not good for the children. But what are the practical steps that he should make mentally? Does he start meditating? Does he write it on a piece of paper? Does he write his objectives? What does he do mentally, step by step?
Okay. Thank you so much for that question. I mean, for Peter in a relationship that is the scenario you describe, it's a toxic situation that Peter's emotional well-being is out of the way. And ladies and gentlemen, the key for every vision is when our emotion is vibrating with our thought. So emotional well-being becomes a very important thing. So if you are in a relationship and your emotional well-being is stressing, you cannot be a good father, because we are humans. We don't have unlimited resources. So the practical way start from what is Peter's vision. His vision. He cannot live beyond his vision. So for him to make a practical step, it starts from the vision of himself, the vision of his family. What is the vision he has for the kids? It knowing fully well that the current situation is not aligning with his vision. A lot of people live in denial. So the fact that he is aware that it's not emotionally balanced in that relationship, that's the first thing. And if it's a toxic relationship and if there is a physical threat to his well-being, the first thing is to remove himself from that physical environment. That is the first thing. If abuse is involved, if there's a threat to life, he has to remove himself from that physical situation. That is the first step, because he needs to go out from the danger and sit down with the help of social network, maybe family, counselor, whatever the social network of support he has. Because without him being emotionally balanced, he can't be a good father, he can't be a good husband. That is the truth. Because if you are in a toxic relationship, the children will suffer, the wife will suffer. So he needs to receive his own balance first, and he has to do that outside that environment. He cannot receive his emotional well-being in a toxic physical environment. So the first practical step is to leave that environment and separate. He may not apply for divorce yet, but he has to remove himself from that toxic physical environment. You cannot negotiate in an environment that is toxic. It's not possible.
Okay, I get that, and thank you, Professor. And I think my understanding to what you've just said is that you have to remove yourself from that situation, take yourself away from that situation, because you are not going to change that situation by remaining there with the excuses that you probably think are justifiable excuses. You probably are of better service to the children or the wife or the partner when you're outside that toxic situation to sort that out, which means therefore that when you return, the possibility that you could return to that relationship, you are fresher and your partner is fresh.
Absolutely.
Or it's a relationship that's going to finish. And then you start focusing on the children. And I guess that same principle is what we would be applying to work as well, isn't it? When people are unhappy at work. I always say that individuals have to first of all practically look at their transferable skills. So looking at what are the transferable skills that they have that they can take away to doing something else. Professor, we're going to come back to you. We're going to welcome Queen Nadia on our screens. In the meantime, I am going to read some comments. And next, we are going to have Her Royal Highness Queen Nadia Harihiri, the founder and CEO of Successful World One. Heather says, each of us has the power to choose. We can align our bodies and our behaviors to create harmony and consistency with God within us. That is so, so powerful. We love that. She says each of us has the power to create. So we can create a new situation for ourselves. Thank you, Heather, for that comment. And Norma says, my way of getting out of an experience that I want to let go with. Peace is to say, I love, feeling what you want to let go, which is, I love peace. I love tranquility. I love me. But I'm willing to let it or you go. I love you, Jane, but I'm willing to let you go and watch how things start changing. I always say, when you close that door that is an obstacle, you find that you clearly can see how you can open new doors. And I always say, once you don't leave that job or make a decision that you're leaving that job or leaving that relationship, nothing better ever comes along. Thank you, Norma. And T, I love you. Hey, Bestie, nice to see you on the show. And she says, great topic as ever, and great to have you. And looking forward to seeing you on Friday. And Mr. Jason Appleyard, Father's Right, says mental strength is key in modern day. Talking about Jason Appleyard, if you are a father, you are an uncle, you are a grandfather, and you are looking for someone to assist you with the father's rights in the United Kingdom, Jason Appleyard is the man for you. Bandy says, vibrations not only affect us, but also impact the people around us. Positive or negative vibrations may resonate in others and create similar vibrations. We would like to thank you for your comments. We'd like to thank you for interaction. We would like to thank you for watching us from Facebook platforms. We air live on over 50 Facebook platforms. We also air live on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Meetup, and our website. In every week, we have thousands of views that we have because we're using an external streaming channel to you to broadcast to all the different platforms. You don't see all the people that are live when we are live. Normally, when you finish your show, you see some of the people that are live with you, but we are able to do the count in every week. So we would like to say we have seen the extraordinary achievers grow from strength to strength, and it's because of you sharing to Facebook groups, WhatsApp platforms, and sharing with others. And we would like to say thank you for sharing. Her Royal Highness Queen Nadia Harihiri is a founder and the CEO of Success World. Her Royal Highness created Success World Academy, the academy for everyone, offering free high-quality education for all. And she has also a founder of Success World Mental Health Clinic. Queen Nadia, Her Royal Highness, can you please tell us, in the change of ourselves, what do you recommend is a daily habit that we should be making if we want to set ourselves free from the things that are holding us back and making us miserable, the things that are stopping us from progressing, the things that are stopping us from being the new us, to live in our fullness? What should we do every single day of our lives?
This is very interesting. Thank you for this question. To heal your mental, to clean the cause of every effect. I was listening to Professor Oluwafemi, and when you have problem at home, you are changing our environment. Yes, this is one of option, but I can assure you that if you are not changing during the period where you are at this home with the trouble, you can change 100 times the home, the place. You will always face the same problem because the cause is not healed. The cause has not changed. For example, if you have problem in your couple, so it doesn't mean that you are changing place and your couple will be fine. This is not true. You have something to understand, something that you understand to the mental. If you want to change completely, you have to clean your mental. You have to clean your emotional. You have to clean your physical. You are these three bodies. You are physical body, you are emotional body, and you are mental body. Your mental is the place, the dimension where every ideas and ideology, intention, all that are here. Your emotional is here to just transfer or the correspondence of what you have in your intention. So if you want to change completely, you have to change your habits, your attitude, and stop focusing on your past. Lot of people, they are suffering. Why? Because their ideas, they have 60,000 thought per day, useless thought. What they are thinking, they never think to their present. They never think to their future. They are lost. They are lost and prisoner of the thought of their past. This is why their life is a repetition. They are building their future as based on their past. How do you want them to be fine? They can change 100 times, 1 million times the environment. They will always face the same problem. Because it's the problem, what is outside is a problem that you have within. The environment is only a projection from your third eye, your consciousness, who is showing you, see what you have created. All what you have is you are responsible of that. So if you have trouble at home, trouble in your life, or trouble with your job, or anything, you have to go deeper in the cause, the spirit, the mind, and look exactly, observe your thought. Just observe them. Don't control your thought. Just don't let them control you. This is very important. So people, they don't understand that they have to just reform completely the system that they have in their mind. And then the emotional will be fine and the physical will follow. You see, a lot of people, they are not living their present. And because they are not living their present moment, they are already programmed from their childhood, from their habits. They are already programmed. You see, they are not focusing exactly in the present moment, and this is the cause of all their trouble. Because if they were aware of all what they were doing all the time, they will be in control of every situation. They will never have any more fears, doubt. No way. You will be always the master of your life. For example, why I'm telling you that? You see, you have some people, just to prove you what I'm telling you. You are driving a car. Okay? You are driving a car. At the same time, you have your children, they are shouting, etc. What you do, you speak to your children. Okay? You speak to your children, you speak to your wife, you are shouting, you are listening music, etc. But your mind has already programmed this body to arrive at destination. Okay? So if we ask you at this time, oh, what was your moment present? Oh, I was in discussion about the children. All right. What about what you have seen in your way, in the road? Have you noticed that there is a car there, blue car, stopped there, or an animal there? Have you seen that? No. He was busy with something else. He was not focused in what he has to do. And that it is the problem. Now the problem in the couple, the problem in job. Some people, they don't find a job, or some people, they will be always fired from their job. Why? Because they are repeating all the time in their mind. In their mind, they are repeating all the time. that they will be fired. That, oh, always when I have something new, I am fired. You have already created your own law. Have you forgotten that you are element of God in God? Have you forgotten that God has created you at His image, not by this physical body, but you have the capacity to think and feel, and your thought and emotion are creative because you are vibrating. When you are vibrating, your thoughts are vibrating. It means that there is creation. There is transformation. So all what is invisible becomes visible. If you don't heal the invisible, the emotional and the physical will always suffer. You can do whatever you want if the cause is not clean. You can change the country, the planet, you will face the same problem. You understand? You have to change your habits. You have to change attitude. You have to ask yourself why you are living that. When you see the problem, it means that it is a projection of what you have within you. It means that you have to solve something and to correct something within you, and especially when the situation is hurting you. What we have to do in this situation, we have to accept, to forgive, to accept the situation. When you accept, it's 50% forgiveness. When you accept, you forgive and you say thank you to the people who are surrounding you and making troubles to you. Why? Because thanks to them, you have made a giant step of evolution. All what we are living in this world, in this dimension, we are only experiencing emotions, only emotions. And you have the proof that one day when we have to depart from this world, what we are bringing with us? Nothing, because nothing belongs to us. Only our emotion and experience belongs to us, really. Even this body, we have to leave it to the physical, to earth, because in reality, it belongs to earth, not to you. You are using it. You are making an experience in the form, but it's a emotional things. You need to heal before to heal the physical. You need to heal the emotional and the mental. So you need to force yourself to change your vision. Don't expect from the others to change. They will never change. No, you cannot change the people. You will change your vision on them. When you understand that when your vision has to change on them, they will change naturally. This is one of the law of the nature. And have always love, because without love, you will go nowhere. There's no evolution, true evolution without love. All what we are experiencing is by love. God is for you by love, is within you by love, and working through you by love. There's no bad or good experience. There's good and bad in everything. We are living in a world of duality. And I want to tell you, thanks God that we are living in this world of duality. Otherwise, we will remain stuck in a primitive consciousness, blocked in our division, blocked in our separation, fears, and all that. Thanks to this law of polarity and duality, we have the possibility to change, to create, to transform. In reality, we are big alchemists, or I don't know how to say it, alchemists within us. You have the power to change everything. And this alchemy is started with your mental and your emotional. When they are aligned together, you are in harmony. Everything is going well. but you have to respect the law of the physical, the law of the emotional, and the law of the mental, because everything is order and laws, and you have to respect that. See, one of the fundamental law that you will never, never, never modify or never escape, no one in this world can escape, is the law of cause and effect. If you see something within you, no matter the experience, there's a cause. There's a
Queen
cause.
Nadia,
There's
Queen
a
Nadia,
cause and purpose.
Queen Nadia, I'm going to stop you there for a second so that we can just recap. We love to recap here so that we can make sure that we've understood what you said. And you have said that in terms of us not moving on to another level in our lives, we are holding ourselves back because we are responsible for us. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yes.
All what is happening to you, you are responsible. Don't
So
blame
we are
God.
the only individuals that can make that change. We are the only individuals that can make that change. Her Royal Highness Queen Nadia Harihiri, the founder and the CEO of Success World One, Her Royal Highness created Success World Academy, the academy for everyone, offering free, high quality education for all. Queen Nadia has also created Success World Mental Health Clinic. The clinic for the people also offers a free service for those who want to find answers on overcoming their fears, anxieties, doubts, adversities, and finding a new meaning to their life. And today on the Extraordinary Achievers Show, we have just had a snippet from Queen Nadia. Queen Nadia, I'm going to take a moment to read some of the comments and that are coming through from others at home. And we have some comments to put up. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of this show. And thank you for sharing. Seke Kola Adene, the founder and CEO of Sound Mind. And we are having a party on Friday. And if you didn't hear this announcement before, Friday, we are having a fundraising charity dinner with Seke in Erith. So if you'd like to do something on giving back, Friday is the day. Kola Adene Seke says, I agree with you about dwelling too much on the past at the expense of the present. Bury the past to brighten the future. Seke says, I agree with you about dwelling too much at the past at the expense of the present. Very powerful. Bury the past to brighten the future. You cannot continue to keep staying in the past and making excuses about the past. Thank you, Seke. Vicky says, children and on self-care is important. Love yourself. Angela says, great show and topic tonight. Thank you. And thank you for joining us. Mental Gear Sniper says, such an amazing show today. And thank you for joining us. Tia Labi says, the future is bright. After a long-term relationship, it can be hard. But it's amazing what better people await you in the future. That's so true. And Heather says, optimists reside on a higher frequency and pessimism resides on a lower frequency. Optimists tend to expect more and pessimism expect the negative. What a profound statement. Princess Toyin, Her Royal Highness Princess Toyin, and thank you for joining us on the show, and thank you for continuing to support and to encourage us. She says, God of universe created us completely with everything and made the world simple. It's us humans that make all the things so hard and unbearable for the brain. See, we complicate, and that's what Queen Nadia said, that we are the ones that leave ourselves stuck in the situations. We have to make a choice. Thank you, Princess Toyin. And Heather says, does the DNA have vibration frequency? Does DNA have vibration frequency? Let's ask that question to Professor Oluwafemi. Professor Oluwafemi, does DNA have vibration frequency?
Of course, yes. Everything that is created was created out of the vibration. And if you look at the law of vibration, as Aria Aine says, we are energy through our thoughts. Our thoughts are vibrational energy that create waves. And this has also been proven scientifically that every human has an electromagnetic force around them. So the DNA, which is the genetic code that we inherited from our parent, has a vibration. However, the vibration of the DNA is subjected to the vibration of our thoughts. Our thought controls the vibration of the DNA, because the DNA is our genetic code in the material dimension of our existence, which is in our body. But the most powerful is our thought that creates this vibration. So the creative force is in our thought. So unless we align our thought with our mind, our thought in our mind aligns with our emotion that also control our body. So the mental, the emotional, and the physical, they must be in alignment. And that is the most powerful aspect of our being. And this is coming from our spiritual existence, the core of ourselves. So your nature is a spiritual existence, but it operates with thoughts. And thoughts are spiritual. Thought creates vibration with a corresponding an emotion that has influence on the body. So I'll say it again. So thoughts are spiritual with emotional vibrational energy that creates influence on our DNA, on our cell. So if you inherit something negative, say from your parent, you don't need that to control your life. That is biological determinism. You are not at the mercy of your genetic code. Your existence is beyond your genetic code, because you are a spirit that has thoughts with vibration energy that creates the reality in the material world, in the material dimension. So you are more powerful than your DNA vibration. So you have to monitor your thinking, your thoughts, and that's what's called metacognition in psychology. We have that power. We humans are the only species that have the ability to think on what we think. We can monitor our thought because of that ability. Your thought is your responsibility. So you are not a slave of your thought. You have the power to control your thought. And how do you do that? By focusing your consciousness, your attention on a particular thought that you want for your life. So you have the choice, the willpower to choose your vibration energy through your thought, which also control the emotional that directly control the body. And that's what's called psychosomatic in medical terms. Our psyche, which is the mind, controlling our body. So the mind, which is the place of consciousness, the place of thought, has the ability to release vibrational energy through our thinking that has a corresponding emotional energy, which directly affects our DNA in our biological dimension of existence. So we are not a slave of our DNA. You are a spirit that exists beyond time and space. And through your higher self, which is your true self, your true nature, you can vibrate beyond your DNA vibration. That means you have the power, the ability to create the reality in the material world by creating the thought in your mind through the spiritual higher self, which is your real self. So that is the foundation on how you control that. Thank you.
Professor Oluwafemi, and I would say Professor and Reverend Oluwafemi, we thank you for your contribution, and we thank you for being our resident transpersonal psychologist in the house, Professor. We thank you for your time. We would like to read some comments that we have received, and we thank you for your comments. We thank you for sharing, and we thank you for taking time out to take part in today's program. Tia Labi says, yes, true, Professor, I agree. And Noel Stewart says, self-reflection linked to new actions are our first steps, but the power of our unconscious, for some, is a mountain standing in front of us. We can overcome it if we retune and use our inner power. Very powerful. And thank you for joining us, Noel. Thank you. Norma Ellis says, Amen, Professor. We thank you for all your comments. We thank you. We know that we saw someone that said hello that just joined us. Thank you for joining us, and we welcome you onto the show. If you've just joined us halfway through, 3/4 of the way, you're able to watch us on replay on YouTube or Facebook. Let's take a time to reflect on today's program. On today's program, what did I take away from today? And in my life experience, what has been reignited in me? I take away that attitude determines your altitude, that successful people don't just one day wake up and they're successful. They work towards getting successful. They know about personal discipline. They know about focus. They know about consistency. They care about themselves and their inner selves that we've heard from Queen Nadia to the external, from Professor saying what mentally is in our mind to what goes ahead, from said caller, say Kay, that says, you don't let old habits hold you back. You don't stay in the past. You build the future. We have learned that you need to be disciplined. And in myself, I think you need to create a ritual, a daily ritual that you need to create, which is either going for a run, but something that you consistently do in each and every day. Meditate, pray, read, have time for yourself. I often say mornings are the best times for me when I first get up, because I ground myself, meditate, pray, and then I look at what has the day got in store for me. And it's also say to follow the 80-20 rule, which means 20% of your tasks, we must remember, should yield the 80% of your results, not the other way around, that you're doing so much and then you don't have any results coming from it. But your efforts should be the 20%, and then the 80% should actually be your results. Your harvest should come from 20% of your work. It's a courage for us to read, and to grow to read, to watch programs like the Extraordinary Achievers Show, because we have some amazing guests. We have coaches, we have professors, we have experiences, people that have been through the life of experience, empowering ourselves in so many ways. Did you ever know that apparently only 2% of the population of people can multitask? That apparently 98% of individuals cannot multitask well. That was a study that was conducted at Stanford University, that only 2% of people multitask super well. So I think it's also about laying down what can you do and what can you do brilliantly. Where is that task list? What is that milestone? When does it need to get done by? Remove clutter and focus on what needs to be done. What needs to be done today? What needs to be done tomorrow? What can be done next week? But more importantly, what order of it do you have to do with what you have? There's one thing I'm always saying, and I was talking to and sharing and conversing with my sons today, and I was saying it's about appreciation and gratitude. Sometimes we can get so carried away. I personally had got into that bit where I was so busy that sometimes I'll send someone a message and not at the beginning of it saying hello, at the end of it saying, "Hey, how are you doing?" But quickly just saying, "Do you know what today's weather is? Because I really need to know if I should leave with a jacket or not." And I got into the practice of remembering to be grateful for the person I'm talking to, be grateful for that time that I'm talking to that individual, and to be grateful of that journey that I am on. Ever since, I call it, in my new world of living, in the new me, I've learned to appreciate more, and I've realized the more I appreciate and the more that I'm grateful, the more that I have. I encourage each and every one of us to take time in each of every day to just appreciate what we have. I always say, even the times when you're so sad or you're downhearted and you are thinking of the things that are going wrong, but to appreciate the good things, and to know that the reason why you know that those things are not going the right way is because you know different, because you have experienced different, or you aspire for something different. And do surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with people that encourage you. Surround yourself with people that are happy, that they are positive, and all that they give is so uplifting. I often have conversations with Professor when we're talking about different topics, because we're working on some workshops that we will be bringing to you from September. And as we're working on those workshops that we're bringing through, and we look at the energy that is grasping up and down, and we're having that Zoom telephone call like we did the other day, and you can just feel the energy of positivity. Grab yourself someone. I speak to my sister Heather, and you should see the excitement that she has when we're talking about something. You will think it was $1 billion zillion. We enjoy that time together. I share those moments with so many people in my lives, and so many people that are tuning in right now are my buddies, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Make time for yourself to exercise your mind, exercise your thoughts, get rid of the bad thoughts, create new thoughts. Like Queen Nadia said, create your future, because you are the creator of what is inside you, that your creator has already put in you. And master the art of listening. I always say, have a teachable spirit, because we can never, ever stop learning. Invest time in self-care. Learn to love yourself some more. Love yourself that little bit more. And remember that manna does fall from heaven, but you have to be there to catch it. In other words, you have to work towards that goal. I was sharing with a friend the other day that I was talking to a multi-millionaire, and I had the opportunities to be educated by his passion in life. He consistently says he goes to bed at 7:30, 8 p.m. And I was like, who on earth, not even babies, are going to bed at 7:30 to 8 p.m. But he does, and he gets up at 4:30 in the morning. That is how disciplined some other individuals are. And I aspire to go to bed at 10 p.m. now every day, and I'm working towards that. So at least, because I go to bed late and wake up early, but that's not a good habit. But we should learn good habits. And today we would like to say thank you for joining us on the Extraordinary Achievers Show. Thank you to our guests, and thank you to the Extraordinary Achievers team. We would like to look at some comments as they come up on our screens. We acknowledge and we appreciate each and every one of you. And Samuel Dinsey, a good friend of mine for over 30 years, who's still standing, an uncle to my children, says that today's topic is close to my heart. I really enjoy the topic today, Your Royal Highness and Professor. I'll be watching on replay. I've really enjoyed and learnt a lot from today's topic. Thank you, Lady Renette. Thank you, Sam. Thank you for your encouragement. I appreciate every message. The excitement I had today when you told me that your daughters are going to watch on replay means they look forward to every show, and I appreciate that. Angela says thank you so very much to Renette and the guests and viewers. Much love to you all, and shared with love and gratitude, and must watch and listen. Thank you. Vicky says find your passion and purpose, and you got that goal set. Yes. Yes, Vicky, yes. We would like to thank you for every comment. And if we missed your comment, we would like to apologize. And from our viewers from many of our other platforms, we don't see your comments when we're live. We apologize for that. We see them after. We do try and tend to them as much as we can. We welcome you next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. to yet another riveting show. We want to welcome our guests back onto our screens and to thank them for taking time out and sharing the knowledge today. Thank you for having to have joined us. Professor, we thank you for joining us on this show. Thank you for being amazing and for forever inspiring us in each and every week. We would like to thank Queen Nadia, Her Royal Highness, for the time that she took today to join us today. Her Royal Highness, we are very much aware, well, I certainly am aware of how busy you are, but you took time out to join us, and we thank you so very much. And we have so much more to learn on vibration, and we hope to welcome you back on the topic of vibration. Once again, thank you all at home, and thank you for your comments. Thank you for sharing on WhatsApp, Facebook groups, and to friends and family. We will see you every Wednesday at 8 p.m. through YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and of course from our website, TV. Thank you for joining us, and good night from the Extraordinary Achievers team.
Thank you for watching. You can now follow us on Facebook and subscribe our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, and comment.